Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Association in Consciousness. As usual, let's take this opportunity right here, right now, to simply rest in pure consciousness. By just simply withdrawing attention from the external, from thoughts, feelings, thoughts about what's occurring in the environment or what's not occurring. Just simply withdrawing attention back prior to thought, and prior to the thinker of the thoughts. If in this present moment attention is being distracted or pulled by thoughts, by thinking, or body sensations and emotions, then we acknowledge what's so. We tell the truth about it. We don't resist it, deny it, or try and avoid it. For avoidance and denial is resistance. We simply acknowledge it. And let it all be there, just as it is. We surrender. Surrender all effort. Surrender all trying. All thinking. And just allow whatever is to be just as it is. And we dive into the pure stillness, pure awareness, who and what we really are, by inquiring who's thinking, who's aware of the thoughts, who's aware of the present moment experience. Yes, we all know the answer intellectually, but more important than verbalizing an answer is feeling the answer, which is I am. Remaining alert and present and feeling I am. I am. I am. Now directing attention, the full force of attention, onto this I, this sense of me. And while holding on to this sense of I, me, we inquire, who am I? Or what is I? And feeling and following I, inward. Letting go into the inward flow of consciousness. Feeling and following I, inward. until the sense of I is no more, and all that remains is the peace, the stillness, the silence of pure I am awareness. Being the awareness which is simple being. If the sense of I rises up in this awareness, we just simply remain as the awareness and allow the sense of I to melt, to merge back into its source. Or simply inquire, who am I? And feeling and following it back, back, back. Back to its origin, its source, and rest in the heart. In pure silence and stillness for the next few minutes. We may even notice that as the mind merges back into the source, there is a release of energy in the body. At the same time, the body is relaxing. It's also being revitalized. Simply relaxing into pure awareness, I amness, here and now. Much appreciation to Arunachala, Sri Ramana Maharshi, Jesus the Christ, and A. Ramana for gracing us with this moment, this instant, this opportunity of being here together as one, resting in the heart, as the heart. resting here in absolute stillness, inner stillness. No mind, just pure being, pure awareness, I amness. Now let's choose to remain here throughout our time together today and beyond, as we also now be here present and ready to share and participate verbally or otherwise in the remainder of our time together. Excuse me. Namaste to everyone. And even though those of us who are not here in the room at the AHAM Center in Asheboro, we're on the phone and our phone lines are muted, I can feel your namaste. During the past, I think the last rather 2 times that I've had the pleasure of sharing during the AIC calls, I shared on the subject of the wisdom of surrender as written about in Eckhart Tolle's book, Practicing the Power of Now. And what's come up, we'll see how it goes. There's a little bit more that I'd like to share from that particular chapter in that book, because I think it's right and so much in alignment with and so much expresses, I think, what I really feel it, what we're about in AHAM, what the results are of AHAM's teaching, our practices, our commitment. When I say our, I'm talking about everyone here in the room on this call participating tonight and many who are not on this call. The wisdom of surrender, which he speaks about having everything to do with being here and present and living in the now. How it's made quite clear, not only by Eckhart Tolle, but it's made quite clear, I think, over many, many years by R.A. Ramana, and certainly by Sri Bhagavan Ramana, that living in resistance is suffering and unconscious. And how it can keep one stuck in past or stuck in looking forward to or fearing the future. I had an opportunity last evening to visit with a family friend, someone who has been a friend of my, I guess, my birth family or physical family for many years. I was talking with Jeannie here at the center, and I were talking about this today. His name is Mr. Parks, and he was recently, for the first time in his life, he stepped into a nursing home rehab center in Greensboro, which is, for those of you who haven't been here to the AHAM Center in North Carolina, Greensboro is only about 35, 40 minutes away. And the significance of Mr. Parks only stepping into a nursing home, rehab home for the first time as a patient is that he is 94 years old. And as he shared with me yesterday, he lovingly calls me by my nickname that I grew up with, which is Boot. He said, "Boot, I got a birthday coming up soon." I'll be 95. And while I was with him, as a matter of fact, I'm going to jump to the end, how I left him. He said to me, he said, "Boot, I appreciate your coming. Thank you. You came to see me, and you didn't have to do that." And then I told him, "Well, I'll see you again soon." He looked at me and sort of smiled, and he said, "Boot, you might not see me again, and that's all right. I am okay, all right with that." But now let me sort of go to the near the end of my leaving him. And some things he shared were quite profound. At one point I thought, I must be in an AHAM training or something. Or I must be listening to the words of Bhagavan. You have to understand this man, just an ordinary guy, great guy, ordinary guy who was a postal worker for many years, also served in the Army, and just fascinating for me in the sense of how long I had known him and had talked with him on and off over the years, sometimes just to talk and get some advice. And two things I didn't even know about him. While he was in the service, he learned to speak fluent Spanish and fluent English. Italian. And he spoke a little bit for me yesterday. I had no idea what he was saying, but he spoke it. But anyway, that told me something too. What it told me was, okay, how many, not from judgment, I didn't look at it from judgment, but it was like a little bit of a wake-up call. How many people have I been around that I think I know that I really don't know or hadn't taken the time to really find out fully what they're all about? But anyway, shortly before our visit came to an end, he was sharing something with me. We talked and he shared a little bit about his life. And he got choked up when he said, and I wrote it down. Right after we finished, as I said, I was close to the end of my visit, so I went to the car. and I jotted down what he said then. I don't have a good memory anymore, so I like getting it right. He got choked up with me when he said, choked up meaning tears started flowing. He was sitting in a wheelchair. And he said, Boot, I am 94, soon to be 95. And I feel I have finished what I came here for. And he says, very simple, yet very profound. He said, I feel that I came here to raise a daughter to be the best she can be and to always treat people right. And I feel that that has been done. Nothing big, nothing grandiose, but the attitude of that, simple. Mr. Park said to me, he said, Boot, time is moving fast, moving very fast. So there's so much going on in the world and people are caught up in it. And of course I said, yes, you're right, Mr. Parks. It sure does seem like time is moving very fast sometimes. Real fast, as a matter of fact. And then he said to me, he said, Boo, if you don't get caught up in all this stuff that's going on in the world, then time won't seem to move so fast. The only thing you got, Boo, is right now. Right now. Yesterday is like the old mule we used to have. That kind of took me back a bit. Oh, how was yesterday like the old mule that you used to have? It's dead and gone, he said. Don't you love the way people like that get your attention? And then he said, tomorrow is like Christmas. How so? He said, because it ain't here yet. It doesn't exist. Simple terms, but very profound. He said, the only thing you got, Boo, is right now, today. Live for today, and you'll always have enough time. Live today, for today, and you will always have enough time. Then that's when he said, thank you for coming, Boo. And I got choked up. He did leave me with I left him, he did leave me with one more piece of wisdom that he has brought up from time to time when I've been to see him. Same thing. He said, remember, Boot, what the key to a happy life is. What do you think he said? He said, the key to a happy life, mind your own business. And that sort of reminds me of what Annamalai Swami, that I'm sure most of us on this call, most of us on this call know who Annamalai Swami was. Was a chief awakened or enlightened devotee of Ramana Maharshi who built Ramana Ashram. And in Annamalai Swami's book called Final Talks, a little small one, he says something very similar about all of the thoughts that come up, the thoughts of upset, the thoughts of this, the thoughts of that. When you read in the book, there's something in there that really jumps out when he says, all of that, remember, is none of your business. It's the mind. And the mind, if all that stuff is none of your business, he says stop attending to it. And so I tie all of that together, with Mr. Parks, Annamalai Swami, and Eckhart. And what Eckhart says about surrender, the wisdom of surrender, the wisdom of living in the now. And it has been my experience over and over that the only way, I might be feeling like crap. It's okay to feel like crap. I know that might sound crazy. But right now, just feeling the feeling is not even feeling the feeling. I say that because it's difficult to describe, but it's more of a giving attention only to only I am. And there is only peace. No worry about tomorrow, no regret of the past. As we sit here and just rest in this present moment of now, let me share a little bit, just a little, from Eckhart. And I invite us to let these words be our own words to ourselves, pointing to what we're naturally experiencing right now. He says, you cannot be conscious and unhappy. You cannot be conscious and in negativity. Negativity, unhappiness, or suffering in whatever form means that there is resistance, and resistance is always unconscious. Would you choose unhappiness? If you did not choose it, how did it arise? How did it arise? What is its purpose? Who is keeping it alive? Even if you are conscious of your unhappy feelings, the truth is that you are identified with them and keep the process alive through compulsive thinking. There is that addiction to thinking coming up again, as it states in Conscious Principle number 1. He says all that is unconscious. If you were conscious, that is to say, totally present in the now, all negativity would dissolve almost instantly. And as I recall reading where Sri Ramana Maharshi stated, if we would but be still, just be still, meaning keep the mind absolutely still, then it would be drawn back into the source. And the search, the work would be over. But we have to do it long enough. The negativity, back to Eckhart, the negativity could not survive in your presence, I amness. It can only survive in your absence. And what that's saying to me, if my attention is in the past or future, then I am not in the presence. I'm in thinking. He says, even the pain body cannot survive for long in your presence. You keep your unhappiness alive by giving it time. That is its lifeblood. Remove time through intense present moment awareness, and it dies. But do you want it to die? Do we want this sense of I to die? That is a good question, maybe, to look at. I know for myself, for even a number of years after being involved in AHAM, I certainly had a lot of reservations about that one. Do I really want this I, this sense of I, to die, to merge in the source? Because I was so identified with it that I really, even though I heard Ramana over and over, and I had whiffs of, yeah, Ramana's right, when this, there's just this expansiveness feeling. But I'd go home or go to bed or go and get involved in something else, and here this I is right there kicking and doing its thing, and I wasn't too sure if I wanted to do what Ramana was talking about. Eckhart continues, have you truly had enough? Who would you be without it? Until you practice surrender, the spiritual dimension is something that you just read about, talk about, get excited about, write books about, think about, believe in, or don't, as the case may be. It makes no difference. Not until you surrender does the spiritual dimension become a living reality in your life. And I think we all know that to be true. I don't think, sir, I don't think I'm saying anything that all of us aren't already aware of and know to be true. I also feel that surrender, yes, happens in the practice of inquiry. Because what's happening with the inquiry is that we are surrendering a sense of I. Or it's being surrendered. It's not even a we surrendering it. The I is being surrendered. So I want to express gratitude, say thank you, Mr. Parks. If I don't see you again, you have been a way shower in my life. So that's what's been going on with me this past week. What's been going on with you? Anyone have anything that you'd like to share in relation to what I've just shared, or not? It doesn't have to be that. What's coming up? I would also like to share with you, Kamala Devi, our special guest from Australia, is here tonight with us. I would like to say to you, Kamala, it has been wonderful having you here. You are a blessing. And everyone else here in the room and on the call are blessings too. I'm not just saying that to be politically correct. I don't do very well with political correctness.
Sam?
Yes.
Hi, this is Donna. I just wanted to say hello. I came on the call during the meditation, and namaste to all, and express gratitude for your sharing of the wisdom of your friend Mr. Parks this evening, and just to say thanks, and it's good to be with you all.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you for being on the call.
Dan, this is John.
Hello, John.
I just want to thank you for the call tonight and say it was very rich and very significant. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, John. Appreciate your being on the call. Your being has contributed to it.
Dan,
Yes.
this is Annette. I I let Donna got on the call late, and I'm just so glad I didn't miss it. It's been, I've been feeling a lot of, tonight, a lot of fever coming up, and just sitting with it and seeing the 6-year-old and having compassion.
Mm.
Which is a lot, feels a lot better than being the 6-year-old, you know, being with her, just listening and not resisting, not struggling, just listening and allowing just to be there just as it is.
Yes.
Surrendering, yeah. So thank you so much for this call.
Mm. Thank you, Annette. Yes, surrender. And it's not surrender to anyone. It's surrendering to our own being, to being itself. Just letting go of, as Bhagavan Ramana says, just letting go of the load, putting it down. And letting go of the load and just putting it down is no, and tuning into it is no doing with that. It's simple. Resting in pure I am is, there is no load. There is no load. It's that simple. Resting in pure I am is, as I see, living in the now. It's that simple. When I go to I am this or I am that, I'm no longer in the now. And I'm sure you've seen, Annette, that just by your being that in the presence of the 6-year-old, is that your grandchild you're speaking of, or what?
No, that's me.
That's you, okay. That's fine. That's you, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's just old stuff.
I got you.
Old stuff being triggered and coming up to be seen and just surrendered.
Yes. Just letting it be. Right?
Right, not resist.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sitting here in the awareness as I am, as pure being, awareness, as the space in which the 6-year-old can do whatever, go through whatever the 6-year-old is going through. And just being the space of love and acceptance.
Yes. And compassion.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that will neutralize it all. Hmm. So let's just love ourselves and love each other as ourselves, and ourselves as each other. And in that, there is no other. There's just love. And know that we are now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, wisdom, and truth. We acknowledge this presence and this power as the one eternal Spirit, and fully accept the simple truth that our world is now manifesting according to its perfect law, from the one substance of pure love. Pure love is the heart, is I am, and we all are that one I am. And let's choose right here, right now. Choose happiness now. Namaste, everyone.